Hi, welcome to another VITA learning video. I'm Jim McGuire, and today we're going to go over how to add a new firing program for your pressing unit, the 6000 MP. Now, after you have everything set up and maybe you have added some additional materials into your desktop, into your screens, here I have Ambria, which is the VITA newest press material. And let's say that I wanted to add an additional tab here, an additional firing program of a different material. So all you have to do is touch on any icon, any of these tabs, long touch, hold it down, release your finger, and you'll bring out this panel. So the top tab is to name your new firing program. Second one is to change the background color. You can add some information to each one of your firing tabs. You can add an additional firing cycle. You can copy or cut an existing firing cycle. If you activate either the copy or the cut, you will then bring up and activate the paste tab. But until you do that, this one stays grayed out. And then of course, each firing tab you can throw in the trash. I'm going to add an additional program. When you do this, you'll bring up a pop-up screen that will be asking you which type of cycle you want. The one on the top right, located here, is the actual press cycle. So you'll want to, if you're doing a press firing cycle, you want to make sure that you touch this icon. So I'm going to highlight it. I've now created a new firing cycle. If you want to change the name at this time, as long as it's activated, I can change the name. So you can move your finger and move the cursor wherever you want. I'm just going to make this old. And then I'm going to do press, old firing press. Sounds good to me. You rename it whatever you need, whatever's descriptive that you'll understand. You move forward. And now I've changed this to the old firing press. I want to change the background. You can do this by touching this tab. It allows you to change the icon and the color. I'm satisfied with the icon that I have, the tab. So now I'm just going to start looking at the actual firing program and adjust it as necessary. I'm going to briefly touch on any of the tabs, in this case the old firing press tab, the firing cycle, and it will bring up the actual firing curve. This top line here is the entire cycle or firing curve from start to the high temperature, the hold, and then cool down. The second line is the actual vacuum time throughout my program. And then the third line, the bottom line, of course, is the press time. You can always activate anything that is gray. It allows you to change. You'll notice here that the default, the vacuum, is always on 100%, and it's dependent on the time of your total cycle time and press time for the time that defaults. So this was the only tab you're not going to be able to change, but if I change any of these parameters, the time may change. If you start off, when you move your ring from your burnout furnace to your press furnace, usually we set these at 700. This is where it's defaulted, but if you need to change this, you can use your cursor, back arrow, and plug in whatever number you want. Temperature, the start temperature. I'm good with this. I'm going to then move to the next gray box. This is currently defaulted at 50 degrees per minute, and for 6 minutes rise time to get to the 1000 degrees. I'm going to change it. I think, maybe 50 degrees is too quick. I'm going to change that to 45 and move forward. Now I've reset this at 45 degrees, and you'll notice that the time has also changed. So it automatically changes according to the rise time, and how long it takes to get to the top temperature, the high temperature. 1,000, maybe you want at 900, 910. So again, you bring it up, you remove what you don't want, you type in the correct high temperature, and then click the check mark. Now, I moved it to 950 instead of 1,000, but let's say that I need to have it hold longer than 15 minutes. Let's say that I want to hold it to 20 minutes. So again, I go back to this screen, I toggle and highlight, activate the time, the firing time screen. I will make this 20 minutes. So according to whatever the manufacturer of your press material is, go ahead and change the parameters of your firing curve to match it. Now, if you haven't done so already, you may want to make sure that your pressure is correct in the settings button. I've already previously done that, checked it, and confirmed it. On the, let's say that we want a 3-bar pressure. The press unit will use 3 bar of air pressure, and it's set for 5 minutes. What this does is there's 2 press steps here. It moves from the step 1, pressing time of 5 minutes, and then if it still needs to press, it will continue, in this example, under a 3 bar, an additional 3 minutes. If during this step 1, if it only takes 2 minutes to press your ring, it will automatically move from step 1 press to the second press time. And so it will never over press. It automatically senses the pressure, the back pressure, so that it does not continually press for a total of 8 minutes as you would think. It will go through it quickly, and as soon as it senses that it's complete press, it will then stop and go to the cooling phase. Most press material does not require a cool down. If you need to, that's what these tabs are over here to the right. Everything's fine that I like. So we've now reset it. We got 45 degrees per minute up to 950. I like okay with the 3 bar, okay with the 3 bar for 3 minutes, and so forth. If you adjust your cycle, your firing curve, when you're all done, make sure that you press the save button. And that way you save all of your parameters. So let's say that this was for the 100-gram ring, but I'm gonna use a 200-gram ring, and I wanna change this from 3 bar to 5 bar. One way we can do this is, why don't I just duplicate this? I put in the correct parameters. All I wanna change is that it's gonna be a 5 bar press, a 200-gram. So again, if I long touch it, bring out that panel, I am going to duplicate it. So I'm going to come down here to this icon, this tab here. Once you touch that, that panel automatically goes away. Now when I bring that panel back out, you'll notice that the paste tab is now active. Go ahead and press that paste. I have now duplicated my old firing press program, and now it's called old firing press number 2. I want to change the name, and maybe I'm going to change it to indicate that this is for 200 gram. So anywhere in the white in the top or the second level, maybe put 200 and then a G. So now it's distinguished. This is going to be for a 200-gram press ring. I can just change anything I'd like. So old, new, 200 press. How about if we just leave it at 200 press? We can do this. We can also, once we're done, move forward We've changed the name, but maybe I want to distinguish the background from the original 100 gram. So I'm going to change the color, maybe change it to this yellow. You can always look at this icon in the upper left-hand corner and it'll show what your tab is going to look like. Let me change the icon as well. Now you can see that I have changed the total look to distinguish it from the old firing press. Now, what if I want to change it to 5 bar or 200 gram for a 5 bar press? You want to remove this panel. So if you touch on it, the panel moves away. Now I want to briefly touch on the firing cycle. And this is where now you just go to the tab with the bar. Instead of 3 bar, you are going to do 5 bar. If you notice here, it says change pressure. So if I touch on that, it automatically will change to the 5. So you can toggle back and forth, 5 to 3. I've got it at 5. I'm going to click the check mark, move forward. I'm going to do the same thing to this tab as well. I'm going to change the pressure from 3 to 5, move forward, and now I've successfully changed only from 3 bar to 5 bar for this 200 gram press ring. Make sure you save it. And that's how you can completely change all of your firing programs, as well as add or copy a press program. Thank you for joining us for this VITA learning video.